El comandante. Hasta la victoria siempre. Viva Fidel! Viva Fidel! With the cigar and the vintage Rolex. I like this one. With the vintage Rolex. That's the look. I'll take the hat off in a minute. I just need to leave it on for a sec. I'm going to light the cigar up. Let me do it. Sorry I'm late, guys. A few minutes late. Let me get the right angle. Yummy. Hey, you're going to have the vintage Rolex, right? Although I think he was wearing a 1680 in that poster. Because it has the date. Ernesto. Legend. There are very few who were able to stand up to that. That beast. Hey, guys. Actually, I'm loving this. It's the 5512. Still available, guys. Still available. If anyone wants it, it's a fucking classic. With the original bracelet, very rare. But I should put on my Fidel, shouldn't I? My the AP. Well, I'll put that on in a minute. I'm actually kind of loving the steel and the green. I deliberately wore my Fidel green, so it all matched up. Who's in the house? Lots of people. Nice cap. You know what I use this cap for? I have one with the red star as well. I use this cap to push the hair down, because sometimes my hair does whatever it wants. I mean, sometimes. Every day my hair does what it wants. Sometimes I have to tame it. Well, if I'm observing Jupiter tonight, well, there's a parade of planets, right, in the next few days. The parade of planets, all in a row. And, of course, Jupiter, star of the show. She always has been. Amazing similarity. YT, yeah. Well, I'll have to take this off. I have an old my latest passport photo isn't so much, but there's one from like 10 years ago. And I totally look like Fidel. It was the reason I would get stopped at airports for years. They're like, that guy, put him over there. He needs to be patted down. They took one look at my passport photo. There's like, there's no way this dude is allowing the plane to go to his scheduled destination. Not a chance. Got some PayPals already. Kieran Legends. And I think the predictable, yes, Philip Manning. You guys are great. I missed a couple of PayPals the other day when I was doing the live out in the piazza. There was a couple of great ones, and somehow I missed them. Thank you, guys. You know who you are. What's going on there? That's an earthing issue. Interesting. DJ has the blues. They're fading. I'll tell you one reason why I took your advice, you guys' advice the other day. You're like, feel down? Buy a new watch. And I did. I bought a new SEIKO. So I'll unbox that. So I will mute this phone. Texting each other. What is it? Halloween? Scoop. Not as a hat I wear often. Because I'm a commie. I'm a dirty, filthy commie. I'm a champagne socialist. I'm an Ernesto Guevara fan with the Rolex. Of course, back then the Rolex was the ultimate tool watch. It wasn't like wearing gold Cartier. It was the badass watch. It was the watch for the revolutionary, the rebel, the maverick. That's why it became popular. It was before they made two-tone and all of that. That's when they were making just fucking hardcore steel. And they were also a charitable trust, so it wasn't a for-profit organization. So naturally, certain people are going to warm to that, aren't they? They still are a charitable trust. 92% of their profits, I think, still go to charity. Many watch brands, give away pretty much everything they make to charity. They're a for-profit company under a charitable trust. So they're for-profit. In other words, they aggressively make profit to then give it away. They're Robin Hood. They're stealing from the rich. They're not stealing from the rich, but they're overcharging the rich to give to the poor. Quite literally. The cigar I'm having, by the way, is some of the cigars that my buddy sent. The Jacob and Mir from Paesi Bassi, as they say in Italy, the lowlands. Paesi Bassi. The Netherlands. I don't know if they have a word for nether here. So they call it low. Paesi Bassi. Just trying to get the window to kind of stop. There you go. Using the box as a stopper. Veve, what is happening to Omega with more price right? I'm going to make a video on Omega. Passed them earlier. Past their boutique, and I was like, you idiots. Mistake after mistake. What the hell's wrong with you guys? You don't deserve our love. They haven't deserved my love in a while. Please upvote, says Franco Fiore. Pierre, which brigade would you buy, the 20 or the 22? The 21 or 22 is more my size. Bob MIC, I guess all the real socialists have luxury watch collections. It's a myth to think that socialists don't have nice things. They want you to believe that. They want you to believe a lot of things. Oh, yes. Haircut, DG. No, I don't have a haircut. I mean, I cut my hair all the time. If you're talking about I go to like the barber full job, that doesn't happen. Bert is saying it's a black king turtle. He's guessing. The guessing has already begun for the SEIKO. David Mariano, Comandante O'Malley is delayed. Oh yeah, I was 10 minutes late. Trying to fit a second watch on the same XL wrist. Yeah, just like Fidel, he had two watches. You guys are funny. Okay, off with the hat. That's enough. It's enough of that. So, what is going on, guys? I meant to add Instagram. Let me add Instagram just for the Insta people. How's everyone doing? Are y'all having a drink, a smoke? Fix the hair. It's amazing how hair can shape your whole look. How do I add a studio? Here we go. Instagram key. I'm getting better at this. I am getting better. Got to admit, it's getting better. Go live. Welcome on Instagram. This is on YouTube. That's where I reside. I don't have a very big Instagram anymore. It was banned because I'm litigious. A please and thank you says it's a Landmaster or a Willard. Interesting. David Fitzsimons. If Che's revolution was in Venice, he tried to nationalize the gondolas and redistribute the gelato. Gelato for all. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Camp Sprul. Wow, what a crazy name. Have you checked out the brand new Venezianico? Looks like they're in your backyard. People keep, is this a joke now, a running joke, to ask me about Venezianico? You guys want to tell him so I don't have to do it? Though I feel like he already knows. He's pulling my tail. Andy Dufresne, gelato. How do you say banana daiquiri? Banana daiquiri. CKM for now. $20 super chat. That's more like it. The lights don't stay on by themselves. Super chat help guys chat. Or vote if you can. He has a very good point. Why continue doing this Friday night stream if everyone's just going to sit back? What's the quote from Godfather? Certainly you can ask for a fee for such services. After all, we are not communists. Because Don Corleone had all those judges and politicians in his pocket, like so many nickels and dimes. There is the Fidel. You want me to put it on? You want to see more of the 55-12? Let's have a vote. Get you guys salivating over the 55-12. The original sub. Mike Lewis, make Cuba great again. Make Cuba a casino finally. They're suffocating them. I'm very disappointed in other countries as well for listening to those threats. We'll tariff you if you give them any more oil. Let's see some spine, guys. Let's see some. Okay, fucking tariff us. Bring it on, prick. How about some of that? No? Everyone cowering. If Trump has proved anything, it's that so many other countries are fucking cowards. He exposed y'all. We need someone with a bit of balls. I'm fixing my hair like crazy. Look, the hair expands. See how small it looked before? John Schmidt, you don't buy me out. I buy you out. Fredo, you're my brother and I love you. But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again. Make Cuba a casino again. Leave the watch, take the Chiquetti. That's a good one. I like it. Take the Chiquetti. That's really smart. I should have thought of that. Dick Bozo, bullies tend to push their luck until they run into that one who won't back down. Right, yeah. Right. Eventually, you push your luck, right? You come across that guy, he's not going to take it. It's not his first rodeo. Jonathan, you don't like it. Sorry, I fucked that. I fluffed it. You don't talk like that to a man like Mo Green. Where's Mo Green? He said, give him a call when the party started. Well, give him a call. Patrick, did you hear about the boat incident off the Cuban coast? This is what I'm talking about. It's the whole point. Cuba should just claim they're following U.S. example. Boat may have been fentanyl. Yeah, they should do the same thing. Well, you see, the big giveaway, of course, is that Rubio and the rest of them haven't come out saying, this is terrorism, or whatever. Or making up some bullshit story. They're holding off. They're like, we're investigating. And there's your clue. They were sending over some U.S. loyalists, Cuban Americans. Don't get me started. The offspring of defectors. Going over, probably trying to start trouble because they've suffocated the country now even more. Cuba's an absolute disaster right now. They're running out of energy. They can't pick up the trash on the streets. People are getting sick. It stinks. The hospitals are running on generators that are about to just die. So what you do is you send over a bunch of guys and you have them lead riots on the streets. You've all seen one battle after another, I hope. There's a quote in that at a riot scene. Let's fight fire with fire. I can't speak tonight. Okay, send in Eddie Van Halen. See that scene? It's pretty important. Very important scene. So they were sending in Eddie Van Halen, most likely, to throw Molotov cocktails. Then you have a revolution. Then the administration will start probably shooting people, because this is what happens. And what's his name? Canel, right? Michael Diaz-Canel. And then the USA can come in and extract Canel, or whatever's left of the Castros. And next thing, you've got the island. And now it's Narco Rubio running the place. His dream. Patrick calling Bay of Pigs 2.0. Actually, a lot smarter than Bay of Pigs. But yeah, I mean, well, it was a failure. So I suppose, yes, in that sense, I see what you mean. Yeah, I believe our good friend John, who appears on the show often, is currently working on a Substack article called Bay of Dicks. Camp doesn't know the Venezianico story. Jesus, man. Is my live stream up from the other day, the one in the piazza? You can go back and watch that. Yeah, I believe it's still there. It's the one when you can see the tower. 6,000 views only. I get into it there. I've gotten into it several times, so. I'm not going to bore everyone going back over it again. Sorry, man. But fuck no. I'm not, in short, absolutely not. Not a chance. Andy Dufresne, Operation Monogoose. Ray, fuck it. I tried to talk. Did you super chat it, Ray? I don't see that, so therefore, you're just in with the rest of the masses, I'm afraid, man. You want to stand out? You know what to do. Jim Patterson says, I can't believe nobody has bought that 5512. There was a couple of people very, very close. One guy he just got his taxes, though, or he got some sort of tax info. He's like, oh, fuck, no, I better not buy it. He was just about to buy it. It'll be sold. You know how these things are. It's not sold until it's sold. You know, eventually someone moves in. It's like when we were looking for a record deal years ago in New York. There were so many dinners we were invited to, and events and so on from different record companies. Companies would bring us to lunch and dinner. Oh, tomorrow you've got lunch with Epic Records and then dinner with Sony Records. And we just kept going to lunches and dinners constantly until we realized that these guys, they have a budget all year of a certain amount of lunches and dinners, and they hear about some new band on the scene and they're like, well, I guess I'll bring them. I swear to God, we sat there, was it Epic Records? And the guy just sat there Ironically, his last name was Lust. And he just sat there talking about the girls gone by. There we are, all hopeful for our careers. And he's on the other side of the table, just looking at the tail, spotting the talent. Horny as hell. We're like, when are we going to start talking about our careers and our life? But then one day I get a call. Oh, yeah. Apparently RCA Records want to sign us. I'm like, what? No dinner, no lunch, no preludes. So we have a meeting with our lawyer. I'm like, a lawyer? Since when do we have a lawyer? Turned out we had a lawyer the whole time. We just never heard from him because I guess he knew that until it's real, it ain't real. You know? Otherwise, it's just tire kicking. I think it's the same in watches. When someone, it's like when the 5513, it's just a guy went, I'll take it. There was no back and forth and can you show me a photo of the thing? You know, there was none of that. He's like, yeah, looks great. Actually, he did ask for a photo. He was like, yeah, that's what I want. I want a nice banged up old 5513. Perfect. Where do I send the money? When people are serious, they don't pussyfoot. So next thing, we're at this dinner with our lawyer who's about to make, I don't know what his cut was on the deal. The contract was like $250,000 to start. I don't know what he made, but I'm sure he made plenty. And then it was dinner with the A&R guy, Brian Malouf, a drummer and a sound engineer. He mixed some Michael Jackson songs. He mixed a song off Thriller, I think. And did he do Everybody Wang Chung tonight? Did he do Wang Chung? I can't remember, but he mixed some big radio hits. And he actually mixed two of the songs on our record. He mixed King Solomon and If It Happened to You. And they were really nice, tasty mixes. He was a very tasty guy. He used to wear a beret. He's like a fine gentleman. Then he went to work for Disney. I got a recommendation letter off him when I was applying for my 01 visa. Looks pretty good, Homeland Security, when they see Disney on the letterhead. They're like, oh, so we have some guy who thinks he has extraordinary ability. Let's see. And then they open the slew of letters. There's world famous producers and et cetera in there. And Disney. Wasn't that hard for them to stamp approved. God, I'm just remembering all this shit as I speak. I don't know where the fuck I took all these memories. Oh, life is long. Turns out everybody says it's short, but it ain't. I think Ray Ray's drunk already. Come on, Ray Ray, stop acting up. You're making a show of the Irish, for crying out loud. You're making a show of us. There's a guy out there on TikTok who's doing this Irish parodies. My God, he's hilarious. So I'm sending on my family all these clips. Him doing the Irish thing. The big one that everybody's, because what happens then, people love a clip, so then they mouth it. they pretend it's them saying it's. You can hear him, but it's them mouthing it. It's like a whole fad out there. It's weird. Milli Vanilli got in trouble for lip syncing somebody else, and now it's like a thing everyone does. Anyway, but the big one is so a breathing exercise in Ireland is for God's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sometimes Irish people, when they're speaking, some words are on the breath in. Yeah, they do it because you have to breathe in at some point, otherwise you'll pass out. But most countries in the world don't speak during that. They wait till there's air in the lungs before they project, whereas the Irish make do with all that they have. Survival skills. So you'll have Irish mothers there having a smoke and listening to the next door neighbor talking over the fence, in the garden. So I said to your man, I said, Jesus Christ, are you going to put those potatoes over there? Yeah. But you know how it is, Jer. Yeah. Well, that's the breathing in. And when my daughter's mom first came to Ireland a trillion years ago, Italian, she was like, that's weird. Your ma speaks on the in-breath and the out-breath, both directions. I was like, yeah, I never noticed that before, actually. And she goes, that sounds odd to an Italian. That sounds like they're nervous. That sounds like they're scared. A person who speaks on the in-breath sounds like they're scared. I'm like, my ma's not scared of anything. My ma would fight off a fucking orca whale and then pour a cup of tea. No, it's not scary. It's not that. But I guess these things get lost in translation. It's like if you sit with any Italian family at dinner and you don't understand Italian, eventually you will turn to me and say, are they arguing? No, that's not a fight. That's not an argument. They're just talking. It's the way it sounds like an argument if you don't understand the words. But it ain't. The rambling is strong tonight. So yes, they're moving in on Cuba. So here's the deal on Cuba. If you don't know, if you've been subject to much propaganda your whole life, since Cuba said, no, you're not taking over our land, you're not taking over our island, we want to live our way and not your way. Since they read the Monroe Doctrine and went, holy shit, that includes us. There's been sanctions and the embargo. And the embargo has been suffocating embargo. What does the embargo mean? They don't buy products from Cuba? Big deal. No, it extends much farther than that. They penalize other countries for doing business with them. Most modern countries have to do business with other countries. That's just like, there are very few countries that are completely self-sufficient. That's a very rare thing. If you're sitting in Ireland right now having a banana sandwich, where the hell do you think the banana came from? It didn't come from Ireland. Or drinking a glass of wine, or sipping on some coffee. Most things you have around you have been imported. And if you're working on an Intel-based laptop, that chip was probably built in Ireland. If you're injecting Botox into your face, that was actually 100% of the market is, the source is the west of Ireland, Galway, where they make all of that. And so on. So we all survive by interacting with each other. That's how we all get along. Well, when a bigger country, very powerful country with a huge market, looming over you, literally, on the map. Tells everyone, don't fucking deal with them or we won't deal with you. In every way, by the way. Then, of course, they were added to, it was considered a terrorist country. They upped the ante because it wasn't working, you know. The embargo wasn't working because the boys were like this, going, fuck you and your embargo, cunt. Like that. So then they upped the ante and declared Cuba a terrorist regime. Reagan. My favorite guy. Fucking Reagan. Then Obama downgraded that and tried to loosen up relations. And removed, there was a rule as well about passports. Like, there's like 30 countries, 35 countries out there in the world that can get a visa waiver when you travel to the United States. You don't have to apply to a visa, to an embassy to get a visa to go, for a weekend in New York. If you're an Irish citizen or Brit or Aussie or French, Italian, etc., there's a long list of countries. You can get a thing called a visa waiver. It used to be called the I-94 visa waiver. It's now called the ESTA. And it just means you can jump on a flight this weekend and go and have a hot dog and go see a Broadway show or whatever you want to do. And you can't stay there for any longer than 3 months. And it's a holiday visa, basically. Well, if when you're applying for your ESTA, one of the things they look at is where you've been before. If you visited Cuba in the past year or two, they have the right to deny you your ESTA. So what happens? It's a deterrent. Oh, I'd love to go to Havana and have a banana daiquiri and dance on the beach, smoke some cigars. Then maybe later I'd like to see the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Oh, shit. I better not do the former because then I may not get my ESTA. You see, so it's crippling the tourism. Tourism is one of the industries in Cuba. So it's punitive. It's the equivalent of, living down the hallway from some person you don't like and they're throwing a party and you go and put fart gas in the hallway or something as a deterrent from people that arrive to their party. Some fucking childish shit, man. But who's surprised? Is anyone surprised? So yeah, Obama kind of downgraded it, and then there was JetBlue flights from Miami. Do you remember? Trying to ease relations, and then it was all reversed. I'll give you one guess who did it. Usually I say I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. I'm not even giving you that. So now they're just coming down harder. Anything, they're using the tariffs as a weapon, It's essentially what they are. That's what the tariffs have been all along, is a negotiating weapon. If you like them, you should have your head chopped off in front of your screaming mother. You lunatics. And so now, once again, he's using heavy tariff, the threats of heavy tariffs to anyone who's sending anything there, any petroleum, anything at all, to suffocate the people, drive them nuts, drive them onto the streets, Send over Eddie Van Halen, and boom, you have an upheaval. Just like in Iran. Just like in Iran. They caught 800 Mossad in Iran in the riots. Man. They think we're all fucking dumb, huh? The truth is we are. We are dumb. We're really fucking dumb. And we buy all the bullshit. Anyway. I have a particular affinity for the Cuban people. I always love the story. When I was in Miami, they were my favorite people. We never talked politics, of course. You don't want to do that. You have to be careful. You might come across the most hardliner right-winger you've ever met in your life. What a disgrace. What a shame to the Cuban people. That their worst enemy now, their worst detractors are the offspring of those people who fled on boats. What a horrible disgrace. It's like your grandson coming back and shooting you. You know? Horrible. But I love the culture and I love their music. They outlawed reggaeton there a few years ago. I was like, oh, now I have to go live there. The only place on earth that doesn't have reggaeton. Reggaeton. Worst music of all time. Cuban music is fascinating. The rhythms. I remember a friend of mine, producer guy, music guy from down there. He was going to introduce me to Raul Castro. He was doing an interview and he's like, you got to come down. You got to meet Raul. I was like, oh my God. But at the time I was applying for my new visa in the States. You see, there's the deterrent. And I was like, I can't roll with this. But I remember him talking about working with the musicians. Like, you have fucking 12 guys and they all get into this rhythmic pattern. He's like, it's hypnotizing. Just once the machine gets its flow, all these players together. Wonderful. Great culture. And despite all, the heavy embargo, essentially, despite that, still managed to get by okay. Poor, but dignified. Healthcare, education, etc., etc. And they're pretty good at baseball, too, as it turns out. And all their old cousins across the water going, oh, you should come over here. It's so much better. We have fake tits. We have freedom over here. Go to Miami for the fake boobies. Zero culture, but fake boobies. There's a lot to be said for fake boobies. Don't knock it. Never mind culture, history, substance. You want mini skirts, fake boobies. GNCR. These are wonderful things we've achieved in Havana. This kind of government knows how to help business to encourage. Now is what we have always needed, real partnership with the government. They're taking the place. They'll take the place over. There is no hope, guys. As much as I love the fight, there's no hope. They don't stand a chance. It's like the people of Gaza. They don't stand a chance. I love the protests and all. But evil always prevails, kids. That's the rule. This is why we drink. I'm putting on the Fidel, but I have to set the time. My big green Fidel. Bobby NYC, do you ever listen back to the things you say and realize you're full of shit? No, do you ever look at your mom and say, Jesus, man, I'm so sorry. Do you want to push me back in? $10.58. Luke, how much do you need a month to live comfortably in Venice? What's comfortably? Italians don't earn as much. If you went to, I recently on one of my episodes, which one was that? The Cartier video? I go to a supermarket to show you guys the prices of a supermarket. Now, it's in Venice, so they're going to be a little higher than elsewhere, but people were shocked how affordable everything was. And it's for sure, groceries are very affordable here and high quality and all of that. There's a bottle of wine. This is a Chianti. That would be about, this is a very basic Chianti. Nice. Affable. Nothing special. Be about $3.99 here, I think. $4. Something like that. So you would think, oh my God, like I can live like a king. Everything's so cheap, everything's so affordable. A spritz is about $3.54. Not in the piazza, don't say, hey, I went to Venice and it was 15 euros for a spritz. Now you were probably sitting in the piazza at like a famous fancy joint, the Floriana or the Quadri or somewhere, or you're sitting at the Danieli or the Cipriani. Well, then of course, if you leave the Ciprianis, walk down the street to a little local place where all the locals go, it's $3.50 for a spritz, and they'll give you free food with it. And a coffee here, a cafe, which is they don't drink big cups of coffee like we do elsewhere. They don't do that shit. But a cafe espresso is usually about €1, $1.50. So you might think, oh my God. But the truth is that the Italians themselves earn less. It's not unusual to earn 1,200, 1,300 euros per month. Any New Yorkers in the room? How far would you get with $1,300? You need 5 times that, 6 times that, just to exist there. So it's a scale thing. Now, the genius move is to make decent money and then move to Italy. If you have a company in the US or in England or in Ireland, even Ireland's very wealthy now, very expensive. and that's earning you, and then you just go, fuck, I'll go live in the Amalfi Coast. Well, then you get the best of both things. You're earning good money and you're living a cheap life. Rents in Italy can be as low as, like, for a nice apartment, like as low as 400 a month, 450. If you want to live right slap bang in the historic center of a town, you might be paying 700-800 a month, depending on the size. I'm going on like a typical 1-bedroom to 2-bedroom place. I had a 2-bedroom in Vicenza where I started the channel. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, large living room, kitchen, obviously. Large, modern apartment with Venetian floors, elevator building with views of the piazza. Pretty astonishing. And it was 700 a month. 800 if I needed a parking spot in the center, which I didn't need. Venice is a bit more. Venice, you're talking 1,000 to 1,200 for the same thing. And don't expect the same size, because it's a small area. It's like New York. You can get a lot of small little apartments. Still, considering my last place in New York was 5,000 a month, it's still really, really affordable here. A lot of Italians would say, I'm not living in Venice, it's so pricey there. But, when you're coming from a different place, it ain't pricey at all. So in other words, it's quite cheap. From what I hear in Dublin, it's a disaster, because Dublin is going through a metamorphosis. Ireland is in general. It's very quickly becoming the richest country in the world per capita. And tons of industry, tons of immigration, prices going up, tons of young professionals looking for, he gets a job in Google, she gets a job in Airbnb headquarters, whatever, Dublin. They fall in love. They need an apartment or a house together. Boom. Opening Barolo. So Barolo, I drink a lot. $16 at the supermarket. Good quality. Not great, not Elio Grasso level, but absolutely decent. What was I saying? Yeah, so now prices have just gone fucking apeshit there, because they can't handle it. Ireland is imagine a guy who only has 10 or 20 bucks and he walks into a Vegas casino and he just gets lucky and he fucking wins the jackpot, and they give him stacks of cash and he doesn't know where to put it. He has no home. He's homeless. He doesn't have a car, and now he has these big bags of cash, and he's happy, but he doesn't know where to put all them. He doesn't know where to put it. He doesn't have a bank account. He's in a mess. That's Ireland. Ireland its economy exploded way too fast, and it hasn't been able to keep up. So now there's a housing crisis, and it's mad. And then they're blaming it on the immigrants, of course, because that's the easy way out, right? And there is a lot of immigration in Ireland, of course. It's a good complaint. When I was growing up in Ireland, everyone was leaving because there was no work there. It's actually a sign that things are good when people are arriving in your country. That means there's some reason for them to arrive. And trust me, these people aren't coming for the weather or the food. They're coming from lovely places with amazing culture and amazing weather, but unfortunately are war-torn or whatever. I think people who are very anti-immigrant, it's a way of making themselves feel better about their own shitty country. They want to come here and take our because it's so good here. No, it's not. It's fucking horrible. It's drizzly and gray. You love the fact that they're coming to your country because it makes you feel lucky. Makes you feel special. I think half these people want to move to London. What's the quote from Sexy Beast? People ask, you ever miss it? I say, what? London. Do I? Fuck. Dreary, rainy, every cunt with a long face. They say, what's it like then? Spain. I say, it's hot. It's hot. Oh, it's really fucking hot. Amazing movie. Pierre, $10. Salute. Salute to you, Pierre. Ray. It's a Paula. It's fucking Paula. Time and Tessa is loving the background tonight and on the TV. Yeah, it's the winter storms. It's actually kind of nice, isn't it? Yeah, leave that on the background just for something. So you don't have to stare at my ugly mush. So I have the Fidel on. You want to see her? There's the Fidel matching with the shirt. That's a beast, isn't it? It's a beautiful thing right there. I should be drinking rum, but I don't have any. I just got a PayPal. Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Legend. I love all this support. What else was I going to talk? Oh, yeah. I was fired. That was the other thing in the title, right? I was fired. I was fired last night, guys. I'm just going to let that linger in the air for a minute. Please and thank you. That's the offshore diver, the Fidel offshore diver, the newer model. They released 3 new ones now, different colors, but essentially the same watch. One with the quick release bracelet. No, I was fired, and it's for the best. The promotion company I was working with, they were getting me advertising, and I did the Masterworks thing and Surfshark and a couple of the watch brands and stuff like that. They were sending me advertising deals, and they were taking a cut and all that. They take care of all the liaisoning, blah blah blah. And we closed our relationship last night. Here's the problem. what happened. And they're lovely guys. Like they left me a message. They're like, "Hey, we haven't been in touch in a while. I guess you already know that every year we review our relationships, and your name came up, and we've decided to." And I was like, "Yeah, I already knew this was coming. It was already in the mail. We knew it um, for some time." And honestly, I broke their rules too, because I was doing other promotion deals with other brands that were outside of their thing, which is contractually not what I should have been doing. Uh, and I do have a bunch of other similar companies who've been emailing me going, "Hey, would you like to start we've noticed your channel and we think we could get you deals with," and I've had to kind of either ignore those emails or reply saying, "Sorry, I'm already in a contract with another one." So I suppose that opens me up for those too. But I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to talk about the reason why. And it's not because they were dissatisfied with the results. Like, the customers were always very happy. I remember Zelos in particular. When I did the video, Zelos were like, "We're interested in being on his channel, maybe in like a top 5 category type style video, or you know, top 3 watches under $2,000 or whatever." And they were offering really good money for it too. I was like, "Yeah, that's like standalone money, when you want a standalone video, just you, no other brand in there." And I said, "Sure." So I did these kind of more affordable things, and I made this cool video with kind of Depeche Mode music. Not kind of, I actually used Depeche Mode. And it's this moody one. It's all in black and white. And it's a cool video. I'm really proud. I can't play the music. Sorry guys. You can go watch it yourself. Hey, it's got Chris Ward in there. Look at that. And this is all this B-roll that I've gotten from the Carnivale. It's spooky and a little dark, and it's got shitloads of attitude. There's the Zelos watch. And it just made all the affordable brands in there look cool as hell. You've got to watch it with the music and the narration. And normally these brands, they take a month or two to pay you, And Zelos saw it and they were like, "Oh my God, it was great." Like, we weren't expecting that. Normally you pay for a review and you get like some guy going, "Welcome back to my channel," with the hands on the desk. And, at most you might get the classic hand in pocket shot, that thing you see on all the channels, the hand going into the pocket, or whatever. They were not expecting that. So the company reached out and they were like, "Fuck, Zelos are like over the moon. They want to pay you immediately. So we have to send you the money right now." I was like, "Okay, great. I'm glad." So that's just one example. And all the other people were happy. But here's the problem. The problem when you're dealing with a artiste. I hope you enjoy my work. As he coughs into his fist. No, but when you're dealing with somebody who's a little arty, you can't. They're not going to do the thing when you want them to do it. You'll be very lucky if they deliver the product on time. Because unfortunately, the mind that comes up with like these kinds of ideas is not a very regulated human. This is not a person. And it's also, the work is not it's not conducive. You know, if it's hands on the desk with a few close-ups, if it's a Jenny L stale as fuck video, then of course you can say, "Oh yes, we'll deliver your video by April 2nd." You know, you can be very, very business about it. But when you're dealing with somebody who's like looking for inspirato for some crazy fucking video with music and coming up with some wild original idea, it's just you can't put a timetable on it, you know? Or if you insist on that, you may be shooting yourself in the foot because they might come out with something fucking way better. It's like what happened with Zero West in their very first video. They didn't want to, I mean, they wanted an elaborate video, but they didn't want to pay for it. They were afraid to spend any money. So they were like, okay, well, we'll just do hands on the desk. How about that? And we'll pay you a certain amount. It wasn't very much. And then I saw the watch arrived and I was reading the literature. I was like, God, this is fucking fascinating. And that evening I'm making dinner and fucking Dunkirk, the film, comes on the TV and I sit there watching it. I was like, oh my God, I need to make a big Dunkirk epic out of this thing. So I wrote the guys an email and I was like, forget the money. It's like De Niro in Heat. Forget the money. I'm going to make a big thing. I don't give a shit. And in the end, it was amazing for them and they loved it. And then I was supposed to deliver on a certain date and I didn't. And they were all getting ready to watch it. And it just never happened. I felt bad. I was like, no, I ran into computer issues and I have some problems here and I need to fix a thing. So it was a week later. It was a whole week. It was like a Friday night they were ready. But then they all went to bed kind of disappointed. I let them down. And a week later, it was a Friday the next week is when I dropped the video. And it turns out that that was the 80th, exactly the 80th anniversary of the event, in the story, to the day. It was like there was the hand of God was controlling. So sometimes you have to like drop your fucking, what you think is your schedule and let nature take over because it'll actually deliver something way better onto your lap. And the guys at this company I was working with just couldn't get their heads around that. They have a big, long register of influencers they work with, and it's all very regimented and very corporate and so on. And I was just like the wild child, the unpredictable. They're like, when is he gonna, like, how is it, when are we gonna get this done? And then they had all these rules. They would have to like clear it with the company. So you do your video, then you have to send it to them and they send it to the company and some intern has to sit and watch it and then approve it. And then they come back to you and go, okay, now you can drop the video. And that could be weeks. I'm like, I'm dropping the video now. I don't give a shit what they say. The video is great and I'm behind schedule and it took me fucking days of night and day over and over again going through this video to make it. I'm dropping it now. I don't care about some company. So they were like, oh God, no, I don't. And it happened one of the times that I think it was Masterworks. If you're considering investing in Masterworks, don't. That's all I can say. Fuck those guys. Because I made them a nice video. I put their whole thing together. And they wanted revisions. They were like, it's good, but can you change this to that? So I was like, okay. And then I dropped the video and they wanted something in the description, like with my name connected to the link. And I just put in the regular link. I missed that detail. There's a lot of details. So there's that one detail. and they stiffed me. Never got paid for it. And because the guys, the company that I was working with, are Canadian, they're not confrontational. I need a company who's going to go, yeah, you don't ask this guy for revisions, and you take his video whenever the fuck he does it, because it's going to be a better video than anyone you can fucking ask. Sorry, it's true. You're lucky he took your fucking stupid product and stuck it in his video. Count yourself lucky. So you don't get to boss him around. I need some. You need someone like that. It's going to kick in. You need a Harvey Weinstein. It's going to kick down doors for you. Instead, these guys are like super passive and, well, these are the rules, and so it's just our work ethics, if that's what you can call mine. I don't think you can even call mine that, but the work ethic was incompatible. So the last one I did with them was this Zelos watch. I think somebody wants to buy it now. It was this Zelos, the Damascus steel one. And I said, hey, the video's ready. And they were like, oh, great. Well, we'll pass it on and get it approved. And I was like, I've been out shooting that video for a fucking week. And I haven't posted a video on my channel in like 3 weeks. I'm way over schedule as always. How long is it going to take? Oh, we'll try and get an answer back by Monday. And I was like, yeah, fuck that. I just posted the video. I was like, fuck it, I don't care if they don't pay me. I can't sit around and wait for some dumb intern in fucking San Jose to go, okay, that works for our standards. And then they paid me. I was paid, but nothing was said. They didn't come back saying, hey, we saw you posted the video, but we still haven't had that cleared by the company. Nothing. They just paid me, and then there was nothing. So I think they were just like, just fucking pay him. This guy he's trouble. He's all over the place. We can't, none of this shit will compute. So it was the equivalent of like some manager with some singer or a band or something, and they keep fucking trashing the hotel rooms. But they sell out the venues and they sell a lot of records and write great songs. So he was like, oh shit, like they're fucking trouble. They're all alcoholics, but they do write some fucking good tunes. What am I going to do? It's basically that. So I have super chat here. I have to do the Instagram thing again. This is a nuisance. Yeah, so we ended our thing. It's for the best. I can move on to someone new. If I do sign with another company, I'll tell them that whole story. So I'll be like, are you sure you want to get in bed with this dude? Are you sure you have the balls for it? Because otherwise, move on. Move along. Luke, thanks for the information on Venice. I'm retiring soon. Oh, listen, I don't know what country you're in, Luke. You sent me dollars, so it's probably the United States. Listen, it's mad affordable. Italy, Venice, a little less, but still way more affordable than most cities in the United States. Excuse me, way more affordable. And healthcare is free or basically free. And great infrastructure, trains. buses, blah blah blah. Venice is, of course, unusual because it's on the water. It's a misfit. It's but they still manage to have amazing everything. You know, I'm on live with Dirk. He's in New York City, and I'm running like 16 fucking computers here in the house. And he's got one on, and he's getting package loss and so on, and freezing up on his screen, and I'm here getting like full quality. I'm in the middle of fucking Adriatic, practically. So they really have their shit together. You won't look back. Trust me. Where is the Seiko, Raphael? Well, that's coming up. I'm making you wait. Now it's coming. So, yeah, just to surmise there. No, it was for the best, and I left them a message saying, "Listen, guys, you guys were nice with me the whole. They were never they were never unsavory with me. They were like, I'm sure maybe behind the scenes they were like, that fucking motherfucker just dropped the video, and we're supposed to clear with this guy. Oh shit, what is he doing? But on the phone to me, they're always like, hey man, so can we talk about the are you available for a Zoom call so we can discuss moving forward? I was like, oh God, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry you had to deal with this wildebeest. I'm sorry you had to bring in a mad bull into your China store. But shit. But no, it's for the best. I left them a message saying you guys were great. You're always very nice. The work that we did do was good, and it wasn't all good, honestly, but there's no point in bringing that up now. So it turns out I get more work by myself anyway, independently, bigger paying work. And I don't have to kiss anyone's fucking boot. And I can do things kind of on my own terms. In fact, some of the brands want me to do things on my own terms. I'm way behind schedule on the Zero West video, the Longitude one. Way behind. They were behind as well. They had problems with the watch. They had to redesign it. Between the jigs and the reels, things got a little delayed. But I did ask them just before Christmas. I was like, listen, do you want me to do it I'll just do it for nothing, like a hands on the desk, and we'll wait for the bigger video to come out, in a few months or whenever I can get it done. But for now, at least, you can go ahead and release the watch, and I'll just do something more basic, and at least get the ball rolling. Because those videos are easy to make, of course. They require zero imagination. And they could have said yes, but they're like, no, we want you to do your... They're like, no, we saw the clip, the preview of that you put on Instagram in the beginning. We're like, yeah, that's what we want. We want the Ocean magic. So they're like, no, don't do that. We'll wait to see what big epic you make on this thing. I was like, wow, kudos, very cool. So there it is. What did I show there? Oh yeah, the info in Venice. Mr. VGT Trump, friendly takeover of Cuba. Yeah. Hilarious. How long till there's a Bally's casino and a Trump fucking casino on the coast there, Habana, and a roadhouse, what was it, steakhouse or whatever, one of those shitholes. He turned it into a fucking strip mall. Damn. If you want to see Cuba, well, you might be a little late. I would have said if it was a few months ago, I would have said if you want to see Cuba while it's still got its charm, before it turns into the ground floor of Macy's. But it might be late now. They want free Cuban cigars. Wrist presents. Love your offshore. Wish they would make them in smaller sizes for tiny wrists like mine. Yeah, the offshore is a large watch. You should go for the Royal Oak 30, 38, 39, whatever size that is, if you can get your hands on one. Yeah, the offshore is, it's a big watch project. Hey, listen, you've got the pick of the crop there. You have everything you want. I wish I had a small wrist. I'd be able to buy all these gorgeous vintage Datejusts and 36 mil. All the speedies of, the Speedy 57, I think, is one of the most gorgeous speedies, but I can't buy one. It's not going to look right on me. I think it's one of the nicest speedies they've released in years. Bloody useless to me. You're much better off with a medium-sized wrist. And all the Rolex are all 40 mil, apart from a few. They're all 40 mil. So they look substantial. Like this 5512 will look substantial on your wrist. Whereas it looks a little small on me, maybe. So don't be complaining. The big wrist guys, we have a problem. We have trouble. All right, let's do an unboxing. Before I do the SEIKO, there's the SEIKO. I'll show you the Brigade. That's for sale. This work of art. I got two, but I've got to sell one. So I'm keeping the 7067. I'm selling the Tourbillon. This thing's a work of art, originally retailed was released in early 2000s. And I believe sold for 150, I think, 160. Their current ones are between 160 and 180. Brigade box there, papers, full documentation, booklet, papers. And let me take the inner box out. It's a beautiful thing. Maybe the most important watch brand in history. Look at that. That's art. SEIKO has an opening act. Yes, you're all right. Yes, I'm doing it the wrong way around, but it doesn't matter. Look at that. You zoom in. Dun-dun-dun. That's one piece of wood. Did you notice that? One piece of wood. The Brigade boxes are they're worth thousands. Beautiful. And if I can fucking open it. Boom. Brigade Tourbillon in gold. It's a beautiful thing. I'll take out the watch. My nails dirty. That's gross. Does that happen? Yeah. Anyway. Breguet Tourbillon, the inventors of Tourbillon. If you want a real Tourbillon, you have to get Breguet, except no substitutes. With flyback 24-hour and it's like an AM PM type thing, and then power reserve. It has different guilloche on the dial. There's a different style guilloche. Sorry about my nails. What the fuck? Gross. Is that tobacco? Oh, it's just tobacco. God. Thank God. That was embarrassing. Almost. It's very hard to see here, but I'll do some close-up photography of it. The guilloche under the power reserve is different to the rest of the dial. It takes months and months to make these dials, all done by hand. There's documentaries all over YouTube about them. And wait till you see the spectacle on the back. There's the clasp, of course, all in gold, and then hand engraved back. It's a work of art and can be yours for a mere 40K. They go between 40 and 50, 42 to 50 on Chrono without boxing papers. I've seen a couple of Sotheby's for up to 100. There's a couple of watch stores that have them for like 120. But the truth is, if you could find it on Chrono for between, 45 to 50, I'm talking in euros, by the way, so that's 50 to 60 or whatever in dollars, especially now the dollar's so weak. Then there's no point in buying it from some store. There's a lot of them with no boxing papers because the kind of men who own these things don't keep the boxing paper. They're really wealthy. The kind of men who get this kind of you buy this from Breguet, you could buy a house for the same money. Current Breguet tourbillons are they're in the high hundreds, nearly 200s. So 40, absolute steal. If you don't want it, I'm fine with that. I'll keep it. I love it. It's a work of art. I can ship anywhere in the world overnight. Although I recommend, if you want it, once you get over a certain dollar value, it might be worth it just to travel. I had a guy one time who bought a watch, and he's like, I'll just come to Venice. I'll just get a cheap hotel in Venice and we'll have drinks and I'll pick up the watch. I was like, that's a great idea. If the watch is $500, then maybe it's not worth it. Just stick it in the mail. But when you're talking about a $50,000, $40,000, $50,000 close to, or at least somewhere up there, then might be worth just jumping on a plane. Got a cheap hotel. It's shitty weather in Venice right now, so all the hotels are cheap. Stay for the weekend. Get drunk with your favorite YouTuber. Get too drunk with your favorite YouTuber. Lose the watch in a bar. Get rolled by some Venetian hottie. It comes back to your hotel and drops something in your drink, and you wake up in the morning and your watch is gone. get back on the plane, swallow sadness and failure. Be great. Okay, so Seiko reveal. So as some of you guys know, I was going through a bit of a blue moment. One guy I was chatting to earlier was saying vitamin D deficiency is a real thing during these winter months. He's like, you got to take some vitamin D. You don't understand. You'll get depressed and you don't even know why. Maybe that was it. So I got to go get some vitamin D tomorrow. But anyway, for whatever, it happens every now and then. Every few years, I just get a little bit like, ugh. And I did a live stream from the piazza during the week. And I was talking about it earnestly. I wasn't whinging or woe is me or anything like that. I was just talking about it like this can happen and it's chemical and you just got to pull through it, let it run its course. Get up in the morning even though you don't want to, because when you're depressed, you just want to stay in bed. You know, clean yourself up, put on some nice clothes and a good fragrance and your favorite watch, and get out and go run some errands and talk to the locals, interact, and keep a stiff upper lip, chin up. But a lot of you guys were like, you know what, we'll fix your downer, Ush. A new watch. Now, I've gotten a lot of new watches lately, so it's not like I need any more watches, but it can be a nice pick-me-up. And now that I think of it, the last time this happened was a few years ago, and I bought the Tudor, the chrono, when it came out, the white dial chrono. And then I made a big video on it. And I remember, walking out of the Rolex AD, they offered it to me. It was the only one in the whole region. It was a brand new thing. And back then, that's when people were like falling over themselves to get Tudor. And so it was a very high demand piece, and they offered it to me, and I was chuffed. And I went in to pick it up, and it was a nice pick-me-up, you know. Some women, they buy a new bag or they get their hair done or whatever. Fellas, we need like a new guitar or a new watch or something, you know. So that's what I did. I took your advice and I got straight onto Chrono 24. And I bought a Seiko. And the Seiko is an interesting one because before I started a watch channel, in 2019. But the truth is, and some of you guys already know this, I only got into watches like a year before that. I was only into it for like a year, 18 months before I started the channel, if even. Isn't that crazy? I know a lot of people are like, I thought you were into it since you were a kid. You know, I always liked to watch, but I didn't know shit about watches. It all happened very fast, honestly. And I was living with a girl who was into stylish things and nice, the finer things, and she had an appreciation for fine watches. Like she'd cream her jeans over that Breguet, for example. That's right up her alley. Anything stylish, classic, vintage looking. You know, she would like a 1967 Riva boat, you know, in wood, and a vintage Alfa Romeo. You know, that was kind of her thing. And she didn't like Rolex at all. She liked AP, she liked the Royal Oak and so on. So she was a mega snob. Worse than me. And so I get into watches and I'm buying Omegas. And she has a lot of respect for that. And I buy a Rolex, and she was like, I'm not into Rolex, but that is fucking sexy. It was the Yachtmaster Rhodium. She was like, that is fucking beautiful, though, I have to admit. I'm like, yeah. And And I got a couple of Seikos, and she scoffed at them. I bought a bunch of Seikos. She's like, how can you wear that Japanese trash, or whatever? I was like, they're nice. They're good. Hell, these keep better time than some of the other watches. Blah, blah, blah. And I went into because there was a Rolex dealer in Vicenza where I bought a lot of watches off that guy, Mirko, crazy guy. He got me into Toscanos. He's the reason I fucking smoke Toscanos. And he's got, he's an authorized dealer for Seiko and Hamilton and stuff, but he also has, secondhand Rolex and shit. And he had these, because Seiko do this thing, they release certain models only in Japan and only in the US and only in Europe. Well, these ones were only in Europe. And they were called, well, I'll show you. And I bought two. I bought one in Turtle and I bought one in Samurai. And I brought them home. And she was like, what is that? I was like, they're Seiko. They're good. She's like, well, you're not wearing that when we go out tonight. I'm like, all right. I was under the whip, guys. I was under the whip. Thank God I got out of that fucking shit. But I kind of felt like, when am I going to wear these things? So they sat in the watch box. I know this is a big build-up, but just fucking sip on your drink or whatever. Take another puff of your smoke and relax, okay? I'm getting to it. This is called foreplay, all right? Look, I took it out of at least I have the box now and the cards. So they wound up sitting there, because when could I ever wear them? I had the baby turtles, and I'd wear one of those to the gym. We used to go to the gym together, and I'd wear that. And I got a pass for that because it's the gym. What am I going to do? Wear my Yachtmaster to the gym? I might bump it off the weights, the barbells, or whatever. So anyway, so they wound up being kind of redundant, neglected. And they were limited edition Europe only releases. So I stuck them on eBay. And I paid, I don't know what I paid, 700 or something. 6, maybe. I got a discount from Mirko. He always gives me a discount on Seikos. Automatically, even without asking. And I stuck them up on eBay. And I got tons of offers. And it turned out there's a whole culture out there in Malaysia and Japan and everything to try and get the USA only and the Europe only limited edition ones, and so on. And I actually made money on them. I think I sold them for like 900 each or something. It was the first time I ever made money on a watch as well. This is all an education. This is pre-channel, guys. This is before I started the channel. Here I am learning, going, damn, if I can think it's sold for more than they paid for it, what world am I in right now? This is weird. It's a big learning curve. But I always miss these things. And of course, when I got away from that bitch, I started getting back into Seiko again big time. And I appreciate it. And I love Seiko. And I've made a lot of Seiko videos. One of my Seiko videos is one of the biggest videos of Seiko out there. And I've probably sold Seiko a lot of fucking watches, actually. Never got a call from them. Could use a Christmas card from you guys if you're watching. Or a birthday card or something. But anyway, I kind of missed these things, particularly the turtle one. Because I always thought it's a sexy watch, man. It's fucking good shit, especially for the money. So during the week, I was having a bit of a moment and reflecting on my life decisions and all of that. And you guys were like, buy yourself a watch, man, make you feel better. And this one came up. So I bought one, and now it's back in the collection and here to stay. And it is, with rubber. It is the Grey Dawn. Okay, it's going to fall all over the place. I'll just take that out so it doesn't. It is the Gray Dawn or Dawn Gray King Turtle. Isn't that gorgeous? With the orange 20. The first 20 is orange. Isn't that a beaut? And of course, it comes with the gray rubber. I might stick it on that next week or something just to change things up. For now, I'll stick it on the wrist. It was limited to 2,000 pieces. 2018. It was released in 2018. That's why when I bought it that time, it was brand new in the store. The guy said, I just got these two in there, the only two I was allocated. And I was like, I'll take both. Thanks. More money than sense at the time. But in the end, I actually made money on them, which was, it was an education in itself. So maybe that was a good thing. But Gray Dawn. Is it Gray Dawn or Dawn Gray? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. But since then, it's been, it's popular. And you can tell a lot of people bought it back then and put it away in a safe as a kind of collector's item. And now they're cashing in because this guy is looking for $1,300 on eBay for them, mint condition, unworn with the stickers. This still had some stickers on it. I'll stick it on. Big monster. It's a 44, 45 mil SEIKO. Boom. Kaboom. Look at that beautiful elusive gray dial. And I love the cushion case. Huge fan, as you guys know. What's in my hand? Tobacco. Huge fan of that. Look at that beauty. With day and date. So that's my latest addition to my SEIKO collection. I finally got her back. And now I can wear her. Whatever. And not be ridiculed. Out from under the boot, guys. Beautiful doll. Yeah. Please and thank you. Incredible doll. It's a beauty. Perfect fit for me. Big mitts. SEIKOs are the way. I got it on Chrono 24 for what did I pay in total? $810, something like that. Some guy, he was in Sicily. Can I tell you something though? Maybe I'll make a video on this. I don't think I ever bought from Chrono 24 before. I think that was the first watch I ever bought on Chrono 24. I've made a lot of offers and interacted with people and so on Chrono. And I was featured in their magazine twice, and I did YouTube videos interacting with them twice. But I actually never used their service. Isn't that terrible? It's a terrible thing to admit. I think this is the first watch I ever bought from Chrono. And it really worked well because, the seller doesn't get the money until you verify that you got the watch and that you're happy. So it's within their interest to get it in the mail immediately. So I bought it in the morning time because when I'm depressed, I have to get up early in the morning because you don't want to be lying in bed in the morning with your thoughts. You have to get up and be active, and you have to stay off the booze and so on as much as you can. Yes, drinking a little wine for me is actually technically staying off the booze. You're looking at a guy who can drink a bottle and a half of tequila after 2 bottles of red wine. It's a different level. But anyway, so I bought it in the AM, and he had it in the mail by noon. Because, of course, the longer he waits, the longer he waits to be paid. So I got it and checked it. And, I know how to check these things. It's pretty simple. And I recognized the watch. And everything checked out, everything in the box, everything lovely. Strap was never used, still stickers on it, the little rubber strap. And then I go into Chrono and I go, okay, received and happy. Boom. And that's when they released the funds to him. Pretty cool. I mean, I knew that was the way they did it already, but I just never experienced it firsthand, that's all. Okay, dudes, I love the watch. Love the colors. We keep it kind of up. Show it to you guys a bit more. Obviously, it's reflecting with the light of the screen, the way my reading glasses do. But yeah. Good beauty. Bert, have you ever owned a Seiko Monster? I have not. I've owned the mini turtles, the king turtles, the samurais. Anything else? Oh, and the alpinists. I did a video on the alpinist, SARB 017, the famous one. My daughter's mom expressed an interest because she liked the video and she liked the green. So I gave it to her. She wears it every day, I think. And then I got the mountain, what's it called? Came out a few years ago. It's called the Mountain Glacier or something like that. It's beautiful. And a guy called the Wizard, who was a bit of a scammer in the end, in the watch world, since disappeared from the watch world, bought it from me. He PayPal'd me, I think like $800 for it. I didn't really want to sell it, but he was very pushy about it, so I said, all right. Josh, is that an orange? Is that the orange 15? I'm sorry. No, it's orange 20. Somebody the other day said it's called the red 20. I said, well, why is it called the red 20? It's clearly orange 20. Looks a bit like an Omega or something on Planet Ocean. So now I can wear the thing in peace without scrutiny and finally enjoy the thing. After all these years, that was 6 years ago. I can finally love this watch. And it's been on my wrist since I got it the other day. Was it Wednesday? And not too much money. It's the great thing about great Seikos. You can get the joy of getting a new watch on your wrist, something handsome and accurate and well made and a strong brand without, having to wipe your palms down, shivering from the nerves of the money you just dropped, which is what happens when you buy other watches. So I'm delighted. And she's tough. Summer months come along. You know what I'm going to be wearing. out on the bike on Lido, along the beach, the back of the beach on the bike on that path, out into the water with this thing. 300 meters. It might be more than 300 meters. What is it? Didn't check. It's at least that. Excuse me, it's 200 meters. Fine. That works. So you guys are like, drum roll. Raphael says you should try the 62 MAS reissues. 62 MAS. I want to see that. It's hard to keep up with the SEIKO stuff. Oh, there go. I love those things. Are they four grand? 2 grand? Oh no, maybe that's this one. Oh, which ones are you talking about? There's a lot of different prices I'm looking at here, man. There's one on Amazon, but I don't know what I'm looking at here. A little lost. You want to send me an actual reference number so I know what you're talking about? It's not the SPB 143J1, is it? They're nice, though. I should show you what I'm looking at. They're nice. They're good looking. Then there's those mad expensive ones. And then there's old ones, 1977. They go for big money. Hey, I've always got time for a new SEIKO. But this one's good for now. I'm just happy to have it back in rotation. You know? Good tough watch. You know, the truth, here's the sad truth, right? This thing is a fucking beast, right? The Fidel. It's built to go there. This thing does 300 meters, I believe. It's a diver. Should do at least 3. Yeah, this is 330 meters, right? And it's a beast. It's a tank. It's built for that. But you think I'm going to the fucking beach with a $35,000 watch on? Nope. You think I'm going to get this thing in the sand or leave it on the beach while I go for a dip? Or take it with me? Swimming out by the rocks? Think again. Mind you, I did go out with the gold watch a couple of times, the gold sub. In that gold sub video I made, you actually see me in the water with it, and you see it on the bottom of the sea. I do some underwater shots. I don't know why I treated that gold sub that way. I treated it like a bitch. It's terrible. Well, it's a Submariner. It's supposed to be built for that, you know. But it was solid gold, so it was a little bit of a contradiction. I don't know why that watch got such rough treatment. Just I treated it like an everyday watch, bizarrely. I suppose that's the way it's supposed to be done, right? I don't know. I got this from the boutique from AP. This was my allocation from AP. And now my representative was like, when are you coming back to Milan? Come say hi. I know what she means by that. She means I have a fucking watch for you. It's the last thing I need now. She'll turn around and offer me some fucking rose gold thing. I'll be like, oh God. Now I'm in trouble. So that's the thing. Like, my Seikos come out to the beach with me, or out to the rough. It's not because I disrespect them. I'm just, if something happens to this, or I break it, or I lose it, or God knows what, it can be replaced with $800 or $900. That other thing, it's not so much. Midas, Rashid, what's a good first AP looking for something sporty for summer? Well, one of the divers like mine. And now they have some new ones for summer. Yeah, you want one I'll recommend. I'll pull up the site first, but you're not going to get one of these unless you're allocated or you go to the gray market. It's actually a good time to get a offshore in the gray market right now. Watches offshore. Oh yeah, I was already there. Yeah, so here they are. There's my one there. Then there's the blue, gorgeous. And then there's the gray with the blue. Now these are the new ones. There's a black and pink. Then there's this turquoise one. And here's the favorite here. Everyone loves this new one. It's kind of a deep teal blue with gold hardware. So my green one has the rose gold hardware as well. So this is essentially like my green one, but it has this deep teal blue. They want 30 grand for it. Getting it is a whole other thing. But here's the thing. I recommend you going on the gray and getting an Admiral. You know what that is? Let me show you. So when I was in Lisbon 2 years ago, I met with a guy there who became a great friend, and he has some gorgeous watches. Not a single Rolex in the collection, actually. So impressive. And some APs and a lot of Omega and stuff. And he loaned me his Admiral. Where is it? A little later in the video. Here. By the way, when I went out on this boat, I was wearing that Seiko, the Manta Ray. We were out on the boat on the Taju River. Man, that was fun. A lot of fun. And then, oh yeah, here it is, that thing. So he had put it on a yellow strap for Ukraine, in support of Ukraine, because there's blue accents. There is one with black, but I think the blue is beautiful. This normally comes on a white strap. Though I didn't mind the yellow. And man, I fell in love with this thing. I was like, you want to sell that? He was like, no. There are better shots of it here. Oh, here we are. These are all the watch stores. I should just make this full screen, shouldn't I? There it is. That's the previous offshore with the long sticks. Look at that. The beauty. The great food. Lisbon, man. There it is. Look. There's the reference if you want to take a screenshot. You can get those on the gray market now for I don't know, somewhere in the like 18,000 area. I looked at the time and they were up in the mid 20s. There she is again, look. But there, the offshores will come down on the gray market. Oh, that steak with the coffee sauce. Oh man, I gotta go back to Lisbon. It's a good video. So I recommend you go to Chrono. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. God damn it. I mean, there's one there. That's just the black dial one there that came up. Let me see. AP Admiral. Let's see if it comes up. No, I don't think it recognizes the. Let's see. Offshore. White dial. There's one right there. They want 20. It's the 15710 ST from 2018. They want 20 in euros. That's a nice one there as well. The Panda Navy. That's if you want a chrono. But I reckon if you want something for summer, you want something to swim with. So don't get a chrono, get a diver. There's one in the US for 15.3. No papers though, no box. But it's nice though, huh? Yeah, APs are pricey. You know how it is. Different world. There's someone, Admiral, look, they put it on the blue because you can buy the straps from them. And there's third-party straps as well. You don't have to pay all the AP money if you don't want. That really makes the blue on the dial pop. He wants 19. I thought they were a little lower than that, but I guess I'm mistaken. Oh, yeah, that has an open back. Mine doesn't. The new ones don't have an open back. That's a really handsome watch. I'm really fond of those, and I like the long sticks. Look, he's got his original white strap. And I guess he just bought the blue then. I have the green and the gray for mine. It's great. Great AP for the summer. Yes. Raphael, SPB 143. Okay, let me look it up. SPB 143. Yes. Around 1300. I love that watch. That's the one I thought you were talking about. That is exactly the one. Hey, where's it gone? It's there. Oi. Yeah. Shit. SPB one for there it is. Jesus, all the commercials. They want 1,300 for a Fabiani. Yeah, that's very handsome Seiko. Yeah. Next time. I love those straight lugs as well. Look at the way it's straight there. I love that. Yeah. That's a one and done watch, I think. if you want to keep things down at the 1,000 to 1,500 mark, you don't want to get into the rat race with Rolex and Omega, blah, 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 blah. This is more than enough watch for any man, I think. You could save yourself a lot of fucking pain and misery by buying that and moving on with your life. Because that thing will wear in any situation. You can even wear that with a nice jacket and shirt if you want. It's sporty, but it'd be like Bond sporty, you know. Good watch. Very good watch. Let me make sure I'm redirecting to Dirk. We'll go over to Dirk's show. So there it is. How do I surmise? Hey, let me do this. Put back on this. Hasta la victoria siempre. Get the fuck out of our country. You imperialists. Oh, by the way, the other watches that are kind of available, not kind of, I'm happy to sell them, are the Piaget and I think the VC Trump. I don't think I'll keep it. It is sexy, but I think I have enough. The Piaget and rose gold and the VC, that's Trump's watch. That's his favorite watch. It has nothing to do. It's not named Trump or it's Vacheron. But that's the watch that Donald, if you're a Donald Trump fan, maybe you want to wear the same watch he wears. If you run into him at a party, you can always be like, hey, twinsies. Because that's actually the watch that he prefers to wear the most. I'll stick it on. And these are two of the slimmest watches ever made. When the Piaget was released, it was the slimmest automatic watch in the world and remains the slimmest hacking. Sorry, I'll take off the hat because that doesn't match. Look how slim it is. And it's automatic with a mini rotor. And it's hacking. So the second's hack. It's a miracle. This thing's a miracle. I think retail on it is like 29,000. You can find them on Chrono for about 12. Contact me and I'll let you know. I have an even better price on it. And then this is the VC, which is also super uber slim. Also a miracle. How slim that is. In rose. The ultimate dress watch. Let me stick it on for a minute. There's the SEIKO. She's fantastic. Stick on the VC. Totally different thing. For dressy occasions. That's Vacheron Constantin. Looks better on me than it does on Trump. It's a beaut. Yeah. Amazing. Astonishing. Astonishing piece. I love it. I just haven't been wearing it. I wore it on Christmas. For Christmas dinner. And it's been in the box since, so I'm like, oh well. I think if I want to wear a dress watch, I'll wear one of the Breguets. Yeah, beautiful. Silver dial, rose gold. Channel@gmail.com if you're interested. Let me go back to the. Hey, I'll go back to the SEIKO. Oh, yeah. And if you want the 5512, channel@gmail.com. This has service papers from 2007, which confirm that it's all original because it's all written on the service papers. So it's an all original watch with original bracelet, which is very hard to find because they, by default, back then, they used to change things out to the new bracelet. Even if you didn't ask for it, they'd be like, oh, your watch is ready to pick up. And we put the new bracelet on, which back then was probably like, oh, that's great news. But of course, people weren't thinking that in the future that actually might remove some of the value of the watch. Typical. All right, am I going over to Dirk? I think so. Let me put his link in the chat so you guys can click on it directly and come straight over. So already got 40 people over there watching. Come on over. We'll continue the chat. I might show you guys some more watches. You never know. Just some more watch porn. There's the link in the chat if you want to click on it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the super chats, guys. It was fun. Leave Cuba alone. The Fidel Fike said, he sent Norwegian krona. Thank you, man. Fidel. The Fidel. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah. The Seiko watch is 41 millimeter. Is it? I think it's 43. I don't think it's 41. I think it's actually 43. Well, I'll check it. I have a caliper here. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. See you over in Dirk's in 2 seconds. Leave it running and it might pop you over if you have autoplay on. Otherwise, hit that link that's in the chat. YouTube link. And reach out to me at Oshinamali channel@gmail.com if you want any of the pieces that I showed you. They're beautiful. Have a good night, guys. Peace, love. Cheers.